So I'm going to share the diagram and instructions for the 2026 Honda Passport mud flap installation, in case yours, like mine, didn't come with them. I bought them from a Honda dealer directly on eBay and wound up saving over $100 by doing so. So the front is pretty easy. It's self-explanatory. It has pre-drilled spots for you to go that match up. The back is a little less straightforward. The way that the instructions tell you to do it, you're supposed to remove the wheel, and you're supposed to remove all these clips and all that kind of stuff. I did it without having to do that. So I will share the instructions so you see the proper quote-unquote way to do it, and then I'll tell you what I did. So you have some, you have a pre-drilled spot right here that has a screw in it already, which I took out and put the self-tap as it said. There are two spots here that are not pre-drilled. However, you will see on the rear side, this is like a coated fabric. So it just goes right through there. And because it's such a thin piece, they have a bracket that goes in here. So I'll show you that in a second, that those have to zap into. So coming on the inside here, I'll talk about that bolt in a second because that one's not standard. There is a bracket here. So that's where your two from the front zap into. You also have two that are on the bottom inside here. And where those are is before you get this mud flap totally secured back, there's two pre-drilled screws already there. I had to back them out a little bit so I could set the bracket and then re-zap it back in. But there's clips that they go through, so I didn't zap it all the way out, otherwise it makes it a little like funky to try to get in. Because I did that once on accident on the other side, and it took a little longer to deal with. The bolt, there's like all these clips and stuff they want you to remove from the front and put in here and stuff. I just did this. It makes it secure. There was already a hole. There's already a hole here in the bracket. There was already a hole here in the bumper. And there was already a hole here in the fabric, so may as well, you know. Okay, so back to this part. You're going to want to be able to push the mud flap flush as you're drilling in any of your stuff. Otherwise, it's going to sit funky and create a big gap. So another thing that I did was, like, you can wedge something between the flap and the tire if you need both hands. And why you're probably going to need both hands is if you do what I did to not have to remove the wheel, you're probably going to need both. So I used a stubby screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, and I also used a flexi drill attachment. So basically it's like I'll show a picture of it, but it's a flexible attachment that allows you to kind of get around corners and stuff. I've used it for other projects, already had it, and then you can put a drill bit in the end. That I basically kind of like stuck my hands in here and hand tightened as far as I could go to afford me the most space. And this is also because it's fabric and flexible back here, you can kind of push this so you can get a good angle on it to get that one started. This one I kind of had to hand tighten first and then get either the flexible screwdriver in there or the stubby screwdriver. So yeah, that's basically how I did that without having to take the wheel off. But check in the description below, and that will have the PDF file you need for the step-by-step instructions from Honda.